Cool. Well, Phil Frandino, I'm glad to have you here at our MUFIC Songwriter of the Month for September. How you doing, man?
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see
Josh,
you.
You too, man.
We were just doing a little bit of discussion about your songwriting and what's kept you here in the Low Country for so long. Let's start there. You have been in the Low Country for several years, living off of Folly Beach at first, yeah?
Several decades.
Several decades. All right. Hey, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I came down here on a swimming scholarship to the College of Charleston and stayed ever since. Thought I was going to be a marine biologist. Kind of came around a little bit to that, but the nature of the area, I think the natural environment's really kept me here. I had a couple of moves, but I gravitated back here.
There's a little bit of several things here, naturally speaking, in the Low Country. I mean, you've got the water, you've also got the inlands, where wetlands and lots of different things. What specifically do you have interest in with nature? It's a big part of your life.
You just said it. The ocean, big time. I mean, I lived on a sailboat for 8 years, done a lot of sail and deliveries, boat deliveries and all that, but I'm also been a teacher, so I'm big into teaching the environment and ecosystems, and especially the Low Country, the marsh area. I love the estuaries and the marshes. And I've worked on businesses, eco tours in the back marshes of Folly, if you will, and Kiowa, as well as in the harbor. And the nature of the area and all these state and county parks are just beautiful.
Were you doing those things prior to becoming a songwriter? Or do you have interest in them prior?
Well, yeah, because I got out on the ocean before I became a songwriter, and before I had a guitar. I was a lifeguard my whole life, and I written a book out of it. I hadn't had it published yet, but basically I've written all that on stories of being out in nature, and that was a big part of my life. Yeah.
So you were inspired to write a book based on those stories and things, but later those things might have inspired you to become a songwriter you are now, yeah?
Yes, yeah. My mother pushed me a little bit. She was an English major and always edited my writing when I was in school, which I hated, but she made me a better writer.
And you mentioned a little earlier that you started songwriting maybe in the late 80s, somewhere in that ballpark?
Yeah, mid 80s, late 80s, yeah. I was starting to struggle through my first marriage, and then, trying to do something to vent and get something across, either in my own head to work things out, or I don't know if I don't think I ever showed it to my ex-wife, but...
Some things we kept to ourselves,
Yeah.
Do you... Did those things help? I mean, when you started writing songs and all, was it the vent you were looking for? Did it give you that availability to let go?
I think so. I haven't been real consistent, meaning, well, I look back at my catalog, and it's like, yeah, I've written a couple of songs every year or for years and years now. So in that regard, I feel good about the book of poems, if you will, that I've created. So, yeah, it has helped me, I think, stay calm, cool, and collected, and not become a crazy man.
It's definitely good for reflection and not being a crazy man outwardly, at least.
Right.
Yeah. I first met you at Palmetto Brewing, I think, back in the day when they were doing I think it was Jaybird, they called it, was hosting for a while, the series there. And, I haven't heard from him in a while, but I met you there. I think you were jamming with Tom Kinney at the time.
He might have, he'll pop up. I've seen him. We met, I don't know where I think probably Chris's open mic. If not there, then the Brickyard. Stratton Lawrence is running an open mic on Folly Road at the Brickyard or Brick House, and and Tom he'll get up and jam with me every now and then because I like to fatten up my sound.
Do you have a few guys in town you like to jam with that you call on to join you?
We have, but COVID's knocked that down. So my next door neighbor who played quite a bit, John Giacinto, he plays in the blues bands on Sunday there, and then Lee Burns. We had a little combo put together a while back. Hadn't played with Lee, but we're going to get back together. We just kind of have a nice mellow relationship, and it's easy to play with him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have people in your black book, so to speak, just to join you and jam with and different things. And do you still find yourself writing currently? I mean, there's been a lot going on the last few years.
Yeah, I have. Not necessarily that I put together the song yet, but I've gotten the words all down for sure. And then I'm always jamming. If I'll try to consciously try to hit the record on the phone and get the chord progressions down. So
come back to it later.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's separate. Sometimes the words come first. Sometimes the music comes first. And I'm going to put words to that chord progression. You know, that sounds good. Or vice versa. Or sometimes you're just noodling and all of a sudden it all comes together at the same time. So it's different.
Well, it's kind of an organic experience that way, and that was going to be one of my next questions, was your order of operations there. But since you kind of summed that up, I'll ask, when you got your guitar in the 80s, were you aspiring to be a songwriter right away, or were you a guitarist and then just decided you had something to say?
My brothers all played before me. I had a big family, so I had 3 brothers who were playing before me, and I watched one just the year or two buy it, start playing, and I go, because I heard my other 2 brothers, they've already been accomplished. And I said, yeah, Rod, you'll get better, you get better. And I come down, I go up to New York from Charleston 6 months later, and Rod got better in 6 months. I go, gee, Rod, yeah, you're getting better, but you're not as good as Tony and Carl yet. Not that I'm just watching the progression. I go a year later, and the guy's jamming like a fool. And that motivated me. So I could say my younger brother motivated me. Because I'm going to do that.
Cool. I mean, it's inspiration just to see someone there, especially when they're that close. And like, I could do that. I knew when you couldn't do that. Right. Do you, or is there anything you're working on right now in, with your songwriting or compiling things, performing anywhere?
Well, no, not really. I was hitting the open mics. Tommy Condon's, I saw Chris down there when he just did one there, but I had a Monday off. I'm working and sailing charters, and so at night, I'm out in the sun all day, and I'm exhausted at the end of the day. I can't get out and even play. You need energy to get up there on stage and sing and entertain. And so I was hitting the open mics out at Chico Feo, because that's close to where I live on James Island with the Foxy G, and met some good guys out there playing, and Tommy Condon's, and Fatty's got a Monday night thing. I mean, there's tons of music in this town, and it's great. You can pick and choose. Back up, I played at yours a couple places up in Somerville once or twice at the restaurant there, Michi's.
Yeah, that's we're starting to rebuild. There are some new things popping up, and people trying to re-engage. Of course, everything being up in the air, everybody's kind of apprehensive about how deep to get back into it. But so you spend a lot of time on the water. You got your sea legs. That's your whole life for the most part. Yeah, you've been doing that for a long time.
Doing that for a long time. You know, I'm a Cancer. Calinectus sapida, that's the blue crab. So I guess it's normal for me to be in the water. Now I swim every day too, so that's I got to stay in shape.
We'll let this be the most random question I ask you, but do you whistle while you work?
You don't whistle up the wind when you're on the boat. That's bad luck.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. Hey, that's a good questioning then. I learned something. Well, it sounds like that you've done a lot of songwriting things. What's a good, clear question here? If you're writing music, are you writing it for you? Are you writing it for the listener? Are you writing it to get your point across to someone, or for them to hear your ideas?
I think I'm pretty eclectic. I write for all different reasons. So, like, one of the latest songs I've written, I'm going to try to do it here, I think, is the one based on a couple of different things, which is where things come from. 4 or 5 years ago, we lost Lemmy and Motorhead, and Leonard Cohen, and Glenn Frey, and David Bowie, and Prince.
Several.
All in the same year.
Yeah.
That woke me up. A couple years later, Tom Petty dies, and these are all big band influences on me. Well, I had a brother-in-law who was dying of cancer, and that was rough. Just kind of, trying to communicate with him, and I go up to New York and see him and talk, and we bonded over baseball as well as music and women, just talking about stuff, given his situation. And so then I went through the issues of torn Achilles tendon, and then my hand surgeries, and moving up into another decade, and it's like, Jesus. The song just kind of came. I wanted to write a song about probably Jamie and his experience, because he was the one dying of cancer. So the song is of a guy dying of cancer, and he's in a bar, but he wants one last fling. Can you blame him?
No.
And I did it with a kind of a sea shanty-ish type of flavor, a ballad, if you will, or a dirge, just kind of given the nature of the song, I think, but also. I like those Mark Knopfler minor chords and his flavor on some songs like that. So that's where that latest one came from. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned very briefly that you had a hand surgery. I know we spoke about that a little before recording and stuff. I'm sure glad to see you're picking again. Man.
Yeah, I got to do that. The doc says it'd probably be the best thing for my hands to hold that contracture at bay, so I've got to do it. So
perseverance, that speaks to how much you appreciate music and maybe what it's done for you.
Yeah, I try to play a little bit of electric or crank it up loud in the house, but the wife turns that down. So, but I still do the acoustic quite a bit at home.
Tell her we're in the age of nice headphones. No, that's very cool, man. And I'm glad that you could spend some time here talking about your music and things you've got working on. Do you have any other things in the works that you'd like to let our viewers and listeners know about?
Well, I'm waiting for the sailing season to get over so I can get back out and start playing. Hooking up with guys like you and Chris and Dave and Tom and getting my name back out there. So I need a gig. All right, just once or twice a month,
Yep.
Just like all of us.
Grease the wheels again and get it going. Well, I think we're going to get motivated and get the instruments set up so we can play one of your songs. And Phil, I want to just take a moment and thank you so much for coming out here and speaking with me.
Thank you, Josh. Good seeing you again.
Yeah, you too, man. And thank you guys for watching.
All right.
Saw you cross the hazy bar like an old Neil Young song said. Walked across the floor with a drink and said, I don't play games. I'd love for you to say something that really makes me laugh. If not, I don't have time to prance, and I'll say something crass. I'd love to chat and dance with you, but I really want to get laid. You could see yourself to me, you see, for me time doesn't wait. It's not that I won't admire what may be in your beautiful brain, but at my crotchety age I've seen all kinds of aches and pains. Oh, the doctor says that Davy Jones is near, and I better inspect my gear. The kids need the deck lashed down to ease their subtle fears. So I've been working hard to make the end more clear. And sometime in close comfort would be nice, don't you think, dear? Now people may not understand my aggressive, salty ways, but the drive's been there since birth, at least some doctors say. So make me laugh, yeah, make me cry. Won't you bring me tears of joy? Just one night comfort in this salty, dying boy. Show me some comfort. Yeah, time flew by this old pirate really much too fast. Thought the pleasures and fun in life wouldn't sail right on past. A few more sunsets would have made this bright smile last. But I think I hear the church bells ringing. Yup, it's time for mass. Oh, the doctor says that Davy Jones is near, and I better inspect my gear. The kids need the deck lashed down to ease their subtle fears. So I've been working hard to make the end more clear. And sometime in close comfort would be nice, don't you think, dear? Show me some comfort, girl. So I'll play the game until I'm dead and pretend that I don't care, that the Grim Reaper is coming fast, but I'll still play truth or dare. 'Cause I've known since a baby that the body just wears and tears. So let me make love to you tonight without a dying care. Let me make love to you tonight without a dying care. Yeah, let me make love to you tonight without a dying care. Grazie, maestro. Maestra.
Yeah, that was good. That was the one.
All right. Grazie, producer, director.
MUFIC sets you free.